All right, hello, boys and girls. This is our first digital lesson, and we're going to go over a quick run through of the Illuminated Manuscript. I'm going to make it really quick, so if you need to go over anything again, you can always rewind it. Okay, so here we go. So what you're going to do is we talked about all this in class. You're just going to make sure to have a quote that you choose and have an illustration that reflects that quote. Okay, that's the basic idea of the project. You're going to want to make sure to have a border with a very patterned design with a lot of detail, kind of like this. Be aware that this project will be submitted in 4 parts. Each part will be basically a process journal. So the first submission, you're going to be a quarter way through. The second submission, you're going to be halfway through. The third submission, you're going to be 3/4 through, and then the fourth submission, you're going to be completed the project. So you're going to be having expected to put in a total of at least 4 hours into this completed project. Okay, so one of the requirements again is a drop cap. So that's when you have the first letter of the quote be very detailed and unique, usually larger than the rest of the letters. Make sure that the narrative it has a narrative, so it has some sort of story or some sort of it could be a theme, just falls under an idea, and then the illustration, the drawing, or the art, the visual image you create will reflect the quote. Right, that's the basic idea. So remember, this is just other. Remember the border. This is other examples of borders. The best borders in this project will reflect the theme. By the way, the paper that you're going to use will be just normal copy paper, 8.5 by 11. Do not use lined paper. Just make sure you don't use lined paper unless it's like a conceptual reason where it relates to the theme or your general idea. Um, you can use the computer to help you generate really nice text. If you lay your piece of paper on the computer, turn the brightness all the way up. You can trace the letters and have the letters look really nice. So let's see. Yeah, just keep in mind the theme, have it and meet all these requirements. We watched this video already, but you can always go back, check the link in Schoology and watch that if you'd like. Um, Remember to use reference images because if you try to draw from your imagination, it will not look half as good as if you draw with a reference image. Sometimes drawing from imagination is fine, but usually you're going to want a reference image. Even if you change it a lot, just at least looking at something that is real helps you even generate unique ideas. So just to go over the requirements, you're creating an illustration based on a quote you find in the style of medieval illuminated manuscript. Include the name of the author for your quote. Make sure to have that. Choose a font that you want. You can look into Google Docs to get different ideas and create a unique design for your drop cap. We talked about that. Choose a pattern for the border of your composition. Remember that. Include illustrations of your characters or objects in a setting if applicable. So if you have characters, it's good to put them like in a space. And finally, the visual narrative should relate to quote. So again, the image should relate to the quote. All right, so that's our lesson. Let's start working.